Welcome to a whole new month, which means a whole new monthly theme. But before I get started on that, I wanted to show some little videos I took over the weekend because we got some pretty bad snow on Friday. So bad, in fact, that I couldn't get into work. So I had a snow day because I couldn't work from home very easily. That didn't work. So I was just given a snow day. And that meant I walked around in some of the local areas, which didn't involve driving to, just to enjoy the snow. And I thought I'd share a video I took while I was walking around in the snow. Beautiful, beautiful snow. Look at that. So I thought I'd add this in at the beginning of my video today because, well, it's beautiful, beautiful snow. And we haven't had snow this heavy in Chippenham since 2013. So I figured I would take a nice video to add into my video because, God, look at that. Isn't it nice? So pretty. And we're coming up a corner of the park. That's got to look pretty. Oh yeah. Look at all the snow. Christ, that is a lot of snow. Of course, it's all gone now, typically. In fact, over the weekend, course of the weekend, it just melted completely to the point you can still see some little snow drifts here and there around the country, but otherwise, at least where I am down in the south of England, it's pretty much all melted, which is a bit of a shame because I was kind of enjoying it. I like snow. We don't always get proper good amount of snow every year, and this year we did, and then it was all gone so quickly. So on the one hand, that was a good thing because I didn't really want to have another snow day necessarily, because I've had a lot of work on this week so far, so that was probably just a good thing that I could get on with that. Anyway, so getting into the theme of the month, I had a good old think about what I wanted to talk about this month, and then it occurred to me that I'm going to Birmingham Comic Con in the middle of the month, so I thought I would make this month Convention Month. So this whole month I'm going to be talking about conventions. Today I'm going to talk specifically about how I got into the convention going scene, because looking back I've actually been going to conventions for quite a long time, specifically like comic conventions or anime conventions. In fact, the first convention I went to was Bristol Comic Con way back in 2004. Yeah, it was in the shed there's this sort of shed area right by Bristol Temple Meads where they used to hold it, and I remember being quite small in comparison to what some of them are like nowadays. But it was really cool because we had a really big group with us that time, and I mostly remember that because I don't actually remember a lot about the convention itself, but I do remember it being a very good day. My first real memory of convention structure, at least, was MinamiCon 2005, which I was introduced to by my friend Ben, who had been before, and it's in Southampton. It's still going, and they have it in Southampton every March, I think, March, April, that kind of time. And I remember going to that, and it was the first time I really understood cosplay, I think, because I remember them having cosplay parades and stuff like that, and they had panels. I didn't go to any panels, but I did watch a lot of anime. I spent most of that convention in the actual view rooms where you could just watch anime all day, which is what we did. We did take part in a few other things. Like I say, we did attend the masquerade parade and all that stuff. But it was cool to just hang out and watch all these people in cosplay and stuff like that. It was something I'd never really been to before. And they also used to do a really fun opening ceremony, which was really cool in 2006 when they had a sort of carnival theme. It was really cool. I've got a picture of me limboing. Rather badly. So yeah, that was the conventions I went to at first, and then I didn't really go to any for a while because of my issues of getting out of the house. And the first one I went back to after that was London MCM Comic Con, which we call Expo. I think it is still in some ways called Expo, but anyone who went back, who first went to it back in 2008, which is when I first went, in 2008, nearly 10 years ago, as of October at least. And this was for me a big goal, because I've been working through the year to get myself further and further out into, further away from Cannes. And this was a big thing for me to get to it. And really looking back, it's grown so much since those early days, because it was all taken up in just one side of the hall, and even then it didn't take up that much space really. But they did used to have places where you could play games. They used to have a Rockstar area set up and everything, and of course they still had all the comic villages and dealers and stuff like that. But I remember it also being the first time I really got into the cosplay thing, because that was the first time, MCM 2009, May 2009 was the first time I actually cosplayed, I'm pretty sure, at a convention. We had a Team Fortress 2 group, and that was so much fun, and it gave you another area of conventions. It's not just going to the convention itself. Cosplaying itself could be a lot of fun. In fact, the first day we didn't even go inside. We didn't even check out the convention on the Saturday. We were just spending all our time outside in cosplay, and that in itself could be just as much fun. It can be if you find the groups of people who are also in cosplay as the same things you are, sort of thing. If you can find yourself like a Doctor Who group or whatever you're cosplayed as. And I will actually talk about some of the cosplays I've done. So yeah, MCMs became a regular thing. They're in October and May. And I've not been to every one since 2008, but I have been to, I've been every year. I've at least attended a London MCM every year since 2008, which I'm pretty impressed with. But the other conventions I go to are the anime conventions. I haven't been to Minami-Con since 2006, but I have been to Kitakon, which used to be held in Birmingham, is now held in Warwick University. Iacon, which was also held in Warwick University, and Amecon, which is also held at Warwick University. You can sort of see where the best location for conventions are, at least anime conventions. And let's face it, Warwick University is a really awesome place to hold a convention, the university. It's got, like, you can stay in the halls of residence, which makes it so much easier. It's nicely spread out, but not too spread out. And of course it's a university, so they've got all these places where they hold lectures, is where you can have panels. And it works out really well. And of course they have a shop on campus, as well as a pub and student unions for food and stuff like that, and they supply breakfast and stuff. It is definitely the best place to have a convention, and I'm glad that all of the major anime conventions hold it there now. And I'm going to Amecon 2018 this year. This is my second Amecon, because I did attend Iacon, and then that finished. And then Kitakon and Amecon now sort of alternate the summer. So there's always a summer Animecon, whether it's Amecon or Kitakon, depends. And yeah, I tend to go to them because they're always good fun. Even if I don't attend very many panels, there's always something to do. As I say, you can just watch anime all day if you want. So yeah, that's my history of attending conventions. I think anime and comic conventions are the main ones I've been to. The only exceptions is I have been to a sort of a Starsky and Hutch convention. It's called ZCon, and it's held, or it used to be held, in Chicago. And I went all the way to Chicago just for a convention that's focused not primarily around Starsky. It was sort of Starsky and Hutch, The Professional, Sentinel, sort of those sort of buddy cop things of the 80s, 60s and 70s and stuff like that, or 90s as well. And it was very weird to go all that way to Chicago for a fan convention held in a hotel. But I did that. That's how much I loved Starsky and Hutch back in the day, that I would do that. Me and my friend Sal went. And she went to ShareCon, which was a specifically Starsky and Hutch convention, the year before. But anyway, so yeah, comic cons, anime cons, they're pretty much the main ones I attend every year. Last year I think I went to, I went to Manchester, 2 Birminghams, 2 Londons, so that's 5 MCMs. as well as an anime and a couple of smaller, at least 10. I would actually say I probably went to at least 10 anime conventions in general last year. They are a lot of fun, and they are a good way to meet up with people I don't normally meet up with because of distance and all that. So they're a really good excuse to meet up with people you don't usually meet up with as well. And I thought to sort of end with, I wanted to show a sort of collage, or montage should I say, of some of the footage I've taken at anime cons throughout the years. So please enjoy that for a moment. So for me, a big part of the enjoyment, especially at some of these bigger cons, comes from cosplaying, which is something I do mostly at the MCMs than I do the anime conventions, although I've started doing that now too. And next week I am going to talk about some of my favourite cosplays that I've put together. I don't have a huge back catalogue, but I do have enough that I can put together a little list. So that's coming next week, and I'm looking forward to that. And of course I will be doing a review of my experience at Birmingham MCM, and it'll be certainly interesting because the MCM ones have changed hands now. They've been bought out, so be interesting to see how different it is. So yeah, that's my history of conventions. I am actually, something I was going to mention actually, so I'll put it at the end, is that one of the things, the MCM conventions, my friend Selena does actually have a table there. She sells her artwork in the dealers, well, it used to be Comic Village, now she sells them in the actual dealers section. She goes to, some of these ones I wouldn't necessarily go to if it wasn't for her selling. So I just wanted to sort of put a link to her art page, because she's a really good artist. She does all sorts of various sort of cartoon style crossover, all sorts of nerdy video games, cartoons, that kind of thing, artwork, as well as furry artwork. So I thought I'd put that in there, just a link to her art page, because she's a really good artist. You should go check her out. So yeah, so that is my video on conventions, and I will see you next week to talk about cosplay!